Nick and Lars have notes is meant as entertainment. They are big jerks, and if they were on the receiving end of this podcast, would probably be mad. The opinions expressed herein do not represent the opinions of any company, group, or individual. Lars and Nick categorically deny the existence of this podcast.
Lars, that was silky smooth.
Oh, thank you very much, Nick. So we're here.
Yeah, here we are.
Yeah, we're here, but if you ask us, we'll deny it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I like that individuals aren't responsible for this. So anything we say, I don't actually believe.
That's how I live my life.
Yeah, I deny everything as soon as I say it.
No, I'm not. I cannot be held responsible for the things I do or say.
Yeah, such as murder or theft.
Yeah,
or this podcast.
Or just anything.
Yeah.
It's not true. It didn't happen.
No.
Anyway,
yeah, what are we watching today, Lars?
We're watching Good Dinosaur.
Yeah, we know we teased it the last couple of ones. We said we were going to watch it, and we could not let down our hundreds, thousands of listeners.
Yeah, all
millions,
dozens, and several of you.
Well, there are some people walking by, so I'm going to count those as listeners.
Yep. They've been impressed into our fandom.
Yeah, whether they know it or not.
They're loving the moments that they're near this.
I hope so.
Anyway. Let's see. What are your expectations for this movie?
Here's the thing about this movie. I tried not to watch any trailers for it, and what little I did, I guess we saw them in like the other theater, but it wasn't that impressive. But I don't really know what to expect from it, so maybe it can surprise me. Pixar. I mean, Inside Out was really good. We talked about that.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe they'll turn this around, because the trailer for Frozen wasn't very good, but then that turned out to be a really good movie.
Okay, cool.
What do you think? You've seen probably more than I have.
I have, and I can never resist like reading these articles where I'm just like, is that so? Oh, is it like that? You know, they talk about the animation behind the scenes a little bit.
Okay.
Although I do try to avoid spoilers.
Right.
But
does it look promising?
Yeah. I mean, apparently a lot of what people are saying is that it's good, but not Pixar good. And then people are saying, and then other people are pointing out, well, that's not really fair. You know, if it's good, then it's good. You know, don't damn it by the track record of the studio. And it's like, the bar is set higher, so this movie is not fair.
Yeah, it's still a good movie.
Yeah.
But you can't grade it on the curve that they themselves set.
Yeah, I know. I think I'm going to enjoy this movie. I think this is probably going to be our shortest episode yet. Because
you're going to like it so much?
Because I'm going to like it. I'm just not going to have very many notes, which is the name of the show, you know.
Yeah.
Like remember when we saw Inside Out?
Yeah, well,
we like talked about it for like 10 minutes and then we were done.
Right.
Yeah.
What was the movie that we talked about?
That's like episode like -2.
Tomorrowland.
Right. Yeah,
right.
Which was the one we talked about for 2 hours.
Yes.
Which I think that's like our range for this show.
I think so.
Is anywhere from 10 minutes to 2 hours.
Yeah. but if it becomes a movie that's so horrible, we don't have any notes on that either because it's a train wreck. But we're not going to see those kind of movies.
Well, yeah.
But I think Tomorrowland is just good enough to comment on.
Even that kind of movie, like, we would try.
I mean, like The Room. Like, it's pretty perfect the way it is, but Tomorrowland is good enough that it could be a good movie with our notes.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, like, then it crosses a threshold where we can't help it anymore.
Right.
It just is what it is.
Now, wow, dude, now you, like, got me trying to think of how to, like, make The Room a good movie, which is such a bizarre line of thinking.
Well,
that's some serious mental gymnastics I'm saying is that my brain's trying to do now. It lacks flexibility.
Because if we tried to improve it, it would make it worse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it would turn into just something dull.
Right.
Instead of a spectacular failure.
Like lose one sex scene.
But without the sex scenes in the room, when would you get up to get popcorn?
That's what I'm saying, man. It's the perfect movie.
Okay. Anyway, I guess we'll head in.
Sure.
And watch this thing.
All right.
And come back and talk about it.
Great. Sounds good.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. See you guys after the movie. If I can unlock this phone and stop the recording. Okay, we're rolling.
Hey, here we are.
All right. We just saw the movie. We're out.
Yep.
All done. Nick, do you want to start?
Okay.
I guess we doing. Try to do spoiler free first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of my notes are spoiler free, fortunately.
Cool. General notes.
All
totally
right.
Not spoilerish.
Let's start with the highlight.
I
thought that the settings were fucking beautiful. Like we did it. We got photorealism in movies. It looks gorgeous. I loved like the colors. Like there were like cornfields and like the corn and like everything was moving. And it looked fucking fantastic.
There's been no no animated movie has ever done an environment as realistic as this. It's nature at its most beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, geez, all the opening scenes were really mind-blowing. Like, I didn't know that could be possible. It was cool. My one problem is that the dinosaur did not match with the rest of it. It was too cartoony. I don't know. It didn't work. What do you think?
So I actually heard that note a lot before even going in.
Yeah.
You know, people saying, oh, like, look at the dinosaur, he looks like a freaking balloon animal. So I kind of knew that I knew what the dinosaur looked like from the previews going in, and so I kind of went in expecting that.
Right.
And it is kind of funny because Arlo was definitely the most cartoony dinosaur of all the dinosaurs.
Yeah, the other ones sort of worked.
Yeah.
At least the T-Rexes had, like, some texture on them and scars and stuff. So it kind of looked like the rest of the environment. Like you look at, like, the texture of a tree while he's picking it up, and it's, like, has all these ridges and shadows in it. And the human looked pretty good.
Yeah, oh no, he looked good, yeah. That being said, it didn't take me out of the movie. You know, I don't know. I'll get into it a little bit more post-spoiler. I don't know. You have any more general notes? Let's just get through your stuff. I don't know.
Well, if we get through my stuff, we're not going to have anything left.
All right. Well, okay. Well, just, mildly spoilers. Arlo just gets, like, a red-ass beatdown throughout this entire movie. Like, he's just like, once when he's, like, getting up, it's like his knee, he's, like, banged his knee, and he's just, like,
he sprains, like, multiple limbs.
Oh, my gosh. I'm just like, is this little dinosaur gonna die? Because he's just getting his ass kicked for this entire movie. And for me, that really, like, helped make him feel solid to me, as much as, like, he just doesn't make sense anatomically. Like, it was like, he's a solid little dinosaur who's getting his ass kicked all the time. I'm just wincing in pain watching this little dinosaur, like, struggle to adapt to the wilderness.
Yes, and as part of that, I wrote down, this is like the movie Gravity.
Right.
Because, like, shit just keeps happening to him in the beginning.
Yeah, but it was good. It was good.
Yeah,
it really grounded everything, I felt like. The fact, like, it made everything feel more real. It felt like there were real stakes. I think that something that happens so often in animation is that characters shake off injuries too easily, and sometimes it's funny, but sometimes it can undercut the drama. And here I think making him seem really just beat up all the time, like, really made him feel real to me.
That's true. It's difficult in a lot of children's movies and TV shows to really show violence or, like, people in pain, because, like, kids don't, it's hard to handle. But I think they found a good balance of, like, putting some scrapes on him, and, like, you really did feel those impacts.
Yeah.
And it did endear me to the character. Okay, this isn't really a note. It was just, it's funny and weird that they have, like, structures that they're able to build with just their mouths. Yeah,
but I mean, it was definitely interesting how the dinosaurs, after 65 million years of not being extinct, evolved into agrarian and herding societies.
Yes, which it worked. I like the T-Rex farmers.
Oh yeah,
like cowboys.
The Western element was really cool. It was a dinosaur Western.
Yeah. Did it take place in America? Is that the?
I think that T-Rexes are North American dinosaurs.
Okay.
I'm not 100% on that.
Okay,
but
I believe you. One of my problems, at least in the beginning. Later on, it wasn't as big of an issue. But Pixar seemed to be kind of suffering from its own story structure, where a lot of it was kind of telegraphed ahead of time, and I saw a lot of what was going to happen coming a while away.
Right, yeah. Let's just say we're in spoilers at this point. Just say it.
Sure.
Yeah, spoilers starting. If they hadn't already. Well, they're starting now.
Okay, starting now, the dad dies.
Yep.
And, like, of course that was going to happen. Like, we all knew that.
Yeah.
It was almost disappointing that it did happen.
It was almost like a little bit well-worn territory. Like, the fact that he died, it almost felt unnecessary.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't have had the story with that. Or I guess you could have gotten lost.
I think, although it did become an emotional touchstone later on, when Spot's family is also dead.
Well, yeah, that was a cool scene. And also, like, his fear of flash floods and lightning and everything was earned because of that scene.
Yeah. So, I mean, I wouldn't change that.
No, I wouldn't change it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't know how to give that a note, except that I saw it coming. So do it better next time.
Yeah, I guess that you could telegraph it less. I don't know, but then it would feel out of nowhere. No, just leave it.
Just leave it. But then
leave it as is.
They had the shots of the mountain in the background, and I thought, well, they're going to go there, of course.
Right.
I don't know what to change though. I guess that's just the problem with like storytelling.
No, and dude, and that kind of brings me to my thing is like the name of the show is Nick and Lars Have Notes, but it's like a lie because I don't have any notes because I actually just really loved this movie and I thought it was better than Inside Out and I wouldn't change anything. Yeah,
the truth comes out.
Yeah,
you liked it.
I didn't think it was gonna be. I liked it better.
Hold on, wait. We need a clean version of that. Say that you liked it more than Inside Out.
I liked it more than Inside Out.
You liked what more than Inside Out?
The Good Dinosaur.
Interesting.
You want the whole thing together so you can hold it against me later. You're like, it's on tape now, Lars. Oh, I got you.
Well, I mean, like, you've never been like wrong before. I don't think that I've ever seen. Like,
yeah, I mean,
this is a milestone.
It just like, I don't know. There were so many. For one thing, like, let me say that I just really relate to Arlo a lot. Because he's just such a failure,
sure,
and ruled by fear, and I spent so much of my life that way, and this is a coming of age story for him, and there's so many moments in the movie, so many little moments where he's like freaking out, and you're freaking out for him, and then either he gives into the fear and it just screws things up for him, or like the thing with the berries.
Sure.
Remember, like he's like, there's no way I can make that jump. Spot bites his ankle and he goes, and then he like makes a little bridge that Spot goes over, and he's like terrified, and you're kind of terrified. You're like, oh my gosh, how the hell are you gonna get out of this one?
Yeah, his legs are dangling.
And then Spot's like, berries, and then he's like, berries, and he forgets that he's afraid for a moment and just pulls himself up, and you're like, oh, Arlo, you were able to do it. You were just, the only thing getting in your way was fear. And there were a lot of moments like that.
Even before that, he's trying to get up the mountain, like the cliffside, and his legs hurt.
Right.
He's like, I'm going to friggin' get you.
Yeah.
And then cut to him climbing up.
He gets, it's all these moments where he's just on his own and he's like, gets over that fear. He just, whether he gets angry or whether he gets distracted, but then it's all these moments where it's realizing like, oh, he didn't need to be afraid. He was up to it. He was able to do it.
Yes.
And I just really liked it. I really liked this movie a lot.
That was cool. And he comes home and he's like bigger now, and the mom thinks it's like the dad at first. And it's like, yeah, you're grown up now. You're a man.
Yeah. So I don't know. I liked it. I really liked this movie. I don't know. It just hit home for me emotionally in a lot of places. Like when when they're both saying that their families are, there's a lot of parts that could have been corny, but it just worked for me. Even his goofy howling, and it's so funny because the dinosaur sounds more human in his howl than the actual human.
Yeah,
like,
I guess this is a world where there are just humans instead of wolves.
Yeah, no, and I mean it's funny because like you've got the human character, but I relate to Arlo way more than Spot.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah,
but trying to connect with the character isn't really something you can like critique, because to me it felt like a little manipulative. I think you could put like a gif of like a dog dancing behind that music, and I think I would still tear up a little bit. Whereas Inside Out, it felt earned more to me.
I don't know.
But maybe that's just like personal opinion. I don't know.
Yeah, a little cynical.
But I loved Inside Out. I loved the emotion behind that.
Okay, and I'm not saying I didn't love Inside Out. Yeah. I mean, I Inside Out was great. But you know what? Something else you said about story structure.
Yeah.
I thought it was really cool that I felt like, outside of the beginning, I felt like this movie really broke away from the story structure of so many modern movies, including Pixar, in that it kind of it's just a journey movie. It's just stuff happening to Arlo and Spot for like 90% of the movie. Just stuff happening, and then they meet these people, and then they meet these people.
Now, that's a really good point, because all of my notes are for the beginning part of it. Once like we kind of go on the journey, and it's just sort of like, here's like a thing that happens over here, and there's these other characters here. there's like just a huge gap in my notes where I didn't write anything down because it was all pretty good.
So 90% of the movie, it's working.
Yeah, I guess it is.
Okay. And you know what? Honestly, I don't disagree with you there. Yeah, you know what? Maybe if I had to give it a note, maybe the beginning could be a little more streamlined, you know? The fact that Arlo's egg is bigger but he's smaller, that joke was like, you know what? That joke didn't even quite land for me because it was so weird, you know? I just didn't get it, you know? It's like, so he managed to consume all that extra embryonic fluid and yet develop what I don't get it. It's too, I don't know.
This is
strange to me.
Lars and Nick disagree on everything podcast episode because I thought that was fine. It shows how dwarfed he is by the rest of the world.
It didn't bother me.
Okay.
But the fact that his egg was bigger, it didn't make me laugh. I was just like, huh. Like,
that's fair.
Yeah, I don't know. It was strange, you know. I would have liked for his egg to have been the same size, you know. Frankly, I thought it was really weird that the eggs were different sizes to begin with. As soon as I saw those 3 eggs, I'm like, what the hell? Right. Why is that one a different size? You know, they're all, you know, they're gestating at the same time. They're eggs.
Sure. And then the small one got the biggest egg for dramatic reveal, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
On Mother Nature's part.
Yeah. Make them the same size. I don't know. You know, maybe make it a little bit bigger, but not so much bigger. I don't know. It was like 3 times the size of the other eggs. Whatever.
It's for a joke.
Yeah, no. But yeah, no. I mean, yeah, I guess we get down. Yeah, we could peck apart the first, like, you know, like Act 1 of the movie.
Sure.
Basically. But overall,
pretty solid.
Overall, really liked it.
All of the secondary characters were really strong. I thought they were all really great.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. You know, so many moments, like the realization that these, like, you know, pterodactyls are like nasty guys, and like the T-Rexes turn out to be cool guys.
Yes.
And then those raptors are just such jerks. All the villains in this movie are purple.
I didn't notice that.
But they are.
Oh, it's true.
Yeah. Oh man, no, those raptors. That was great.
They were like really funny in the beginning and then really terrifying at the end.
Yeah. Oh man.
The revelation. Really funny.
Oh yeah, no, all the villains, like, you could see, like, you know, oh man, this is like somebody you would hang out with, but then later on, like, not want to hang out with them so much. You
right.
know? Like, you'd meet them at first and think they were cool.
Yeah,
later
and
on,
they just do
like,
one weird thing.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, this guy's going to get me in trouble. You know?
Exactly.
But yeah, no, like, no, really good.
Yeah,
really good.
you know what moment felt earned for me, going back a little bit?
Okay.
The big T-Rex guy with the most scars telling his story about the alligators and then still saying, like, it's okay to be afraid. You just need to, like, push through it and, like, get to the other side.
Oh, man.
I thought that was, yeah, man, that's what life is.
And in keeping with Lars and Nick, disagree on everything for this movie, I agree with you that I love that lesson and that was really cool, but I've definitely heard that speech before in other movies.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's groundbreaking. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but you know,
I've heard of themes of family in other movies as well.
Right, yeah. But it is a good lesson, and it does bear repeating.
Sure.
Yeah. So yeah, and it definitely worked in this movie because that was the theme of this movie.
Right, fear and connecting with people and having a family, and it was cool. Yeah. I mean, everyone saw him pushing the kid back at the end, but it still felt genuine.
Yeah.
Like, sorry. Let me be a little more clear. The kid being with the other humans,
right?
Versus staying with the.
He's found dinosaurs. A new family for Spawn.
Spoilers.
Yeah,
that's a really bad spoiler.
Hey, we said spoilers.
Yeah, sorry for listening.
You know, yeah, no, he doesn't. Hey guys, he doesn't keep Spot.
Do people listen to reviews before or after they see the movie?
Oh man, I don't know.
Like a podcast review. They talk about it.
I personally listen after.
Yeah, you gotta listen after.
No, this is what I do.
Before it's your own fault.
What I do is I see a movie, and then I go look for reviews after for people to agree with me. Then I get really angry with people who disagree with me, and then once I find people who agree with me, then I feel validated.
Sure, yes. Just like the rest of our lives.
Which means this review is going to be satisfying for everybody, because they can either agree with you or me on any given point.
Ooh, that's a good point.
Yeah, so this is a great review.
I mean, it's not a good point.
Yeah.
See what I did there?
Yeah, I mean, no, shut up, Nick. Do you
Was I
see
get-
anything else?
I guess that's all of my notes.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think this is a short episode because I liked it.
I had just more general problems with it, but
Okay,
middle of the movie was
Let's hear some more general problems.
No. I said all the general notes.
Okay.
But for the most part, like the middle of the movie, pretty solid stuff.
Yeah. I'd say see it, people of the world. If you haven't already, hopefully you have. But if you haven't, if you were said, dang it, I just don't know if I'm going to see this movie, let me listen to Nick and Lars and find out whether I should see this movie. I'm telling you, do see it.
I think for animation history, watching something that's this beautiful and photorealistic, I think you can check it out.
And I liked it.
Lars really liked the movie.
Lars really liked the movie.
Lars really enjoyed it.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
You should, if you trust my opinion, if you feel like it lines up with your own predilections, then probably see this one.
Right. If you agree with me that I'm going to say don't see it. if you're going in for strong characters and story, I guess not.
I thought the characters were strong. I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, okay. So Nick says story isn't strong, characters aren't strong. I say
Strong. It was fine. Like I don't have a problem with it.
I
but
think the characters are strong. I think the characters
stronger than
are
Inside Out.
No.
Interesting. Very interesting, Lars.
I mean, well, let's see. Because, I mean, the characters in Inside Out, they're kind of caricatures. You know, they're sort of... Because they're defined by one emotion, so they aren't meant to be realistic characters.
But Joy feels sadness and has complex emotions too.
Joy did feel sadness at some point.
It's
you know.
almost even more poignant
And
because
I
they're
really
not supposed to feel
really
that way.
like Bing Bong, of course.
Yes, of
you
course.
know. But the thing is, like, they're all... None of them are meant to be real exactly. You know, they're abstract.
Yeah.
You know, they're cartoon characters. They're aspects of a human personality personified, which turns them into these cartoony abstractions of people because they are abstractions made into characters.
Okay.
So they're meant to be, and they're as they should be.
Yeah.
You know.
Expanding on your point, if Fear is afraid of something, you're like, oh well, he's like the scared guy who's scared all the time.
Yeah.
Whereas if
you know.
Arlo.
Right.
I keep trying to say Argo. If he's afraid, like you're like, yeah, like because of the situation involved, he's scared because he has human emotions. So
Right.
fine.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and just also like I just felt like this movie did a really good job of defining who its characters were in a very short amount of time. Like,
Yeah.
you have a really strong sense of who each of the T-Rexes is.
Sure.
Like
Yeah.
in very little screen time. You know,
Yeah.
and I'd say that's true of every character in this movie. They're really strong characters.
Even the very first scene where they're all hatching, you already get what the personalities are,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
pretty. That's a strong part.
Yeah, I think they did a really good job with that.
Yeah.
So I mean, I would say The Good Dinosaur has strong characters. I agree that it doesn't have a strong story in the sense of like a lot of twists and turns.
Sure.
It doesn't. It doesn't have a lot of twists and turns.
Right.
You get through that first 15, 20 minutes, and then it's just the whole movie is just this journey and this adventure,
Yep.
just stuff happening.
It's a classic
Stuff
homeward
happening.
bound movie.
Yeah, you know, but I think that's okay sometimes. I think that's what, you know, so it's not a complex story, but I really enjoyed the journey.
All right, everyone see it.
Nick says don't see it. Lars says definitely see it. 10 out of 10, A+, best movie ever.
Fat bags popcorn.
All right.
No, go ahead and see it.
Yeah.
Should we do?
You know, Lars says definitely see it. Nick says see it, I guess.
Yeah, see it. I guess. It's fine.
Yeah. You know, you don't have anything better to do.
Yeah, I guess. On a Tuesday at 12:45, like we did.
Oh, man.
We're both unemployed.
Yes. Oh, it's so great. No, we're not unemployed. We're on hiatus.
Yeah.
That's right. We've got.
You gotta spin that.
We've got. Yeah. No. You know. What is it? It means I'm not. You know. Yeah.
Let's move past that. Should we talk about the trailers?
Nick's trailer report.
.com. We got let's talk about the Pixar short first, right?
Oh my gosh. No, let's do that later because that was great.
All right. I only wrote 2 things.
I think we've seen all these
This
trailers
is a really
before.
disappointing one.
I think we've seen... They only showed like 3 trailers.
Yeah.
And we've seen them all before.
All right, mini report.
Mini report.
Norm is simply the worst. I wrote that down.
Which one?
Norm. It's just the worst.
I don't know. We've talked about Norm of the North before?
We talked about it in a previous one where I wrote, what the hell is this?
I know. I really thought it was translated from another language, that it was like an original Brazilian production or something that they dubbed into English. But it's not dubbed into English. It's made originally in English, which I'm like, why does this look so crappy then?
Well,
why is it so boring? And why are the jokes so crappy? Why does everything about it suck?
Is it? Yeah.
I mean, it's not Food Fight.
No,
it's not Food Fight bad. It's just boring bad.
Food Fight comes to mind when watching it, however.
Yeah, it does evoke Food Fight.
It's just the jokes are so poorly constructed or conceived.
If you loved Food Fight, though, you're going to be disappointed as well because it's only half as bad as Food Fight.
Yeah. Right. Much like The Room, if you try to fix Food Fight, it's going to become worse.
Right.
Norm is just there's nothing going on with it.
So, all right. Other ones?
I just said we already talked about Pets.
Already talked about Secret Lives of Pets.
Fine.
Yep.
Maybe we'll see. Maybe we won't.
Were there any other trailers?
Dude, I don't know. I didn't write anything down. If there were, I didn't remember it.
Okay, yeah. I think there was...
There was Zootopia.
Oh, Zootopia. That was the only other one.
I really liked the trailer.
It was cool. Yeah, the sloths at the DMV. Check it out online if you haven't. It's a neat little trailer.
Yeah. I didn't like the original commercial where they went, all right, everyone, back the fuck up. This is a world with animals in it. Yeah. I don't know if you're ready to handle that
We haven't done anything like that ever before. Forget Robin Hood.
Forget it. It's out of your head. Mm-hmm. We're doing a world with animals where they just do stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, no, that was silly. But this was better.
Yeah, the new trailer's really good.
I feel like the sloth lip sync could be a little more solid.
That was weird.
Oh, noticed it
because
too!
Because he was like, ha!
Yeah.
The podcast people couldn't see, but I opened my mouth first.
It's funny because his words are spaced out, but the words themselves are spoken at a normal speed. So the words... I'm just looking at his mouth because he's going all slow, and it's just it needs to be even tighter in that situation. Whatever.
Well,
I'm such a stickler for lip sync, though. At least in American animation.
What I'm going to guess is that they recorded it all first with what they had recorded.
Yeah, no. You know what? If you're going to make his lip sync slower, then say the words slower. Yeah. And if you're going to make his words normal speed but far apart, then his mouth needs to pop on those words.
They tried to split the difference and it didn't work.
My opinion. Yeah. No. Okay. I'm glad I'm not the only person who was just staring at his mouth.
No, I was.
It did bother me. But I still think it's cool. I'm going to see the movie.
Yeah.
It might, yeah. Which might end up being the next movie we end up seeing, even though it's not until March.
I know you poor people are going to miss us.
You guys could be so deprived. Norm of the North comes out before that, but we're not going to see that movie.
No, it would be a great review, but we don't want to put ourselves through that.
Yeah, we might end up seeing something else in this amount of time. I don't think we're going to review Star Wars.
Nah.
I'm going to see it, but I don't think we're going to review it though.
Yeah, it's not our brand.
Yeah, no, our brand is
I brought this up in the theater. Would you be interested in watching a classic film that you think we might have some notes on?
I think so. Like we said earlier, Nick has not seen a Goofy movie.
Yes.
So that could be a good
one.
Okay.
We'll learn all about Powerline.
Looking at this, even though Star Wars isn't our brand,
I
think we're both going to see it.
Yeah.
And what if we have notes on it, though?
We can do a lost episode.
I think so. Okay, so that might happen, too.
All right.
Yeah. But so the future is hazy in my crystal ball. I don't know what the next episode's going to be.
Mine just says ask again later. I never liked that one.
Yep. I'm just going to, keep spinning this Magic 8 Ball around. Uh-oh, bubbles. Fucked.
Shit.
Okay.
Bubbles. Can we talk about Sanjay superhero one?
Oh my gosh. We should have done that before next episode preview.
Oh, yeah.
I fucked up.
It's okay.
That's okay. Dude, I really liked it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. A+. Best short ever. 10 out of 10.
I liked it too.
I was a little choked up. Wanted to cry.
I was a little boy. My dad took me to temple. I had to sit and listen to them talk about allegories and stuff. Super boring. So I know what this kid went through.
Yeah. My dad's like an atheist. But my mom made
Charles
me go to
Darwin said
Sunday school a couple of times.
Oh, weird.
And I definitely drew way worse stuff than this kid was drawing at the end of the short. You know what though? I just liked it. Just seemed very sweet to me. It was really cute, like that. You know, here's this this dad and this little boy who's clearly a future animator, which is very nice. You know? So I really like related to just the fact that here's this little boy, here's this dad.
Yep.
You know, I'm just relating to Arlo and just relating to Sanjay. Just
I relate to
hard.
Sanjay a lot more because it was cute at the end. Like they were able to put their two passions together into something they could both like really love.
Oh yeah, no, it was just really cute little short. I really liked it.
Yes, me too.
Yeah. Okay. So that's okay. So definitely maybe see it for the short as well. You know.
Yeah, see the short.
Yeah, see the short for sure. Sanjay Super Team. Anyway. Next episode, we don't know.
The future is hazy. We already did that.
Yes, it's very mysterious. All right. Have some good holidays, people.
Yes. This has been Nick and Lars Have Notes. Edit this out.
Woo!
Out.
Woo!